Numerous mysteries about Ashton Kutcher are being revealed. Ashton was a loyal buddy of P. Diddy and never missed a party. The public has always found him rather mysterious, particularly in light of some of his decisions. For instance, there have been reports that Ashton made some dubious comments about his ex-wife Demi Moore's health problems, and he had a thing for Mila when she was much younger. It's clear that Ashton is a complex character, known for his work on That 70s Show. He is a charming actor, but it's his friendship with P. Diddy that really makes things intriguing. It's a little odd since, in my opinion, it's weird that so many celebrities are keeping silent about P. Diddy's current situation. Everyone is so ready to discuss the turmoil of another star, but nobody talks about Diddy. In this brief film, Ashton discusses Diddy's parties, but it's obvious he's trying to keep his words to himself. "I have a lot of stories, but I can't share that one either," he remarked. "I'm just riding my bike through it," he says, before abruptly shifting the topic. "Just so you know, this was before all the Diddy drama started," he even adds. Ashton Kutcher has always been a fascinating individual, particularly in regard to his relationships and personal life. One instance that comes to me is when he attempted to deflect criticism by focusing on his pal Danny Masterson, his co-star from That 70s Show, in order to avoid answering difficult questions. Rather than respond to the questions, Ashton said he was only helping his pal get through one moment. However, here is where things get a little trickier. For years, Ashton, Mila Kunis, and Danny had collaborated on That 70s Show, developing a strong relationship as close friends and, in some situations, romantic partners. They had a bond that extended beyond the cameras. As they shared struggles, victories, and intimate moments, these three became closer and closer over time. On the other hand, everything started to fall apart in unexpected ways when the camera stopped filming. During their time on the program, Ashton and Danny's relationship seemed harmless, but as the years passed, it changed. Even while it's generally advisable to move on from the past and not obsess over the details of their connection, it's obvious that their link affected everyone in their immediate vicinity. Unfortunately, Mila ended up in the center of it all, navigating an uncontrollably chaotic universe. Let's face it, Mila Kunis has always been a really brilliant actress and a generally likable person. She has gained the affection and admiration of people worldwide thanks to her breakthrough performance in That 70s Show and her illustrious film career. Nevertheless, it must have been difficult for her to be involved in Ashton and Danny's complicated and convoluted situation, even with her achievements. Being thrown into the tumult of personal drama is difficult, particularly when it concerns loved ones. Things drastically changed in 2023 when Danny Masterson was found guilty of serious crimes involving two women in the early 2000s. This judicial matter had very disastrous consequences. The strains of Mila's marital and family life were already difficult enough, but this new dispute added a whole new level of complexity. It couldn't have been easy for her to be affiliated with Danny, particularly considering the seriousness of his conviction. The issue is that being involved in a controversy like this affects others as well. Despite their refusal to participate, Ashton, Mila, and even their families found themselves included in a public narrative. Their already difficult private lives were made worse by the media's attention to their private lives. It serves as a sobering reminder of how difficult it can be to maintain your privacy and safeguard your reputation, particularly when others around you are involved in a scandal. It's impossible for me not to feel terrible for Mila. None of this turmoil was anything she signed up for. She has obviously been caught in the crossfire of Ashton and Danny's previous choices, which is a challenging situation for anybody to be in. Mila probably took the brunt of the criticism, even if Ashton may have attempted to protect himself by drawing attention to his bond with Danny. The fact that she has managed to preserve her profession and public persona, in spite of the difficulties she has faced, is evidence of her tenacity. Even if Mila's position has been difficult, we must keep in mind that things are not always clear-cut. Being in the public glare is never simple, and the fallout from prior choices is sometimes more convoluted than anybody could have imagined, particularly when those decisions affect close friends and loved ones. Ultimately, it's evident that these incidents impacted all parties, not simply the main players in the dispute. Years ago, they would have been caught because, as I often say, the truth will eventually surface. Since 2017, Danny's reputation has declined. At one point, he was incarcerated, but Ashton and MAA didn't remain quiet or take a backseat. Instead, they chose to attest to Danny's integrity and promised that he would never do this again. Over the many years that we have worked with him, they made a concerted effort to help his friends Ashton and Mila. In an attempt to learn more about Danny, whom they had known for 25 years, the pair even sent him personal character letters. They had faith in him and assumed he would overcome the obstacles sooner. The worst part is that they believed these letters would remain confidential. Rather, many were taken aback when those letters were eventually made public. "What are these guys doing?" they asked. And it was really uncomfortable when it became public knowledge. When something you're attempting to keep under wraps is revealed, it's simply insane. Fans, as well as pretty much everyone, were unhappy as usual. "Come on, Ashton and Mila," they said. "Really, you people accomplished it, and you're such amazing actors." They received a lot of negative feedback, of course. Following all of that, Ashton and Mila took the initiative to apologize. As they put it, "Hey, we believed in him. We didn't think he did anything wrong. And when we needed support, he was there for us." They claimed to be only attempting to help their buddy. After a while, fans moved on, reasoning, well, whatever, they were just supporting their friend. Then, however, something else appeared. Ashton started a Pop Ships campaign back in 2012, but it was a complete PR disaster. Ashton was supposed to portray a variety of personas in brief advertisements, but one of them was a major mistake. He performed a really awkward heavy Indian accent while portraying Raj, a Bollywood producer. Although the persona was meant to be entertaining, it just didn't work out and received a lot of negative feedback. Anil Dash and other Indian American voices raised their voices, stating that Ashton should have sought advice from an Indian American to avoid insulting anybody if he intended to put things right. However, many were startled when Ashton chose to ignore the campaign and let it go away rather than confront it. However, as the story progressed, most people eventually forgot about the whole incident. Then, in 2017, a few years later, Ashton made an effort to help women on LinkedIn. I thought it was fantastic that he wanted to empower women in the workplace. His attempt to advocate for women is commendable. But here's the thing, he inquired about relationship matters rather than women's salaries or job goals. You read correctly dating questions. "What are women into in guys?" is one example. People said, "Wait, is this seriously what we're talking about right now?" Since this greatly confused them. Even Mila had to intervene and tell him he needed to apologize since it caused such a strong outcry. Ashton went to listen to his wife's apology to the public, but since then, the public has not respected him. This is where things got even worse in 2003, when he made comments about Hilary Dubb, who was only 15 at the time. What you did there is strange, and she did not support him in that way. Although not always for the greatest reasons, Ashton Kutcher has undoubtedly earned his share of headlines throughout the years. His career has been a wild trip filled with both controversy and achievements, with some events generating more discussion than others. One such instance included a somewhat disturbing remark he made when he was among a bunch of adolescent celebrities. Ashton went one step further by bringing up the Olsen twins in the same sentence, implying that these young celebrities were all only waiting to become adults. They were all eagerly anticipating their 18th birthday. That remark went too far, whether he meant it as a joke or not. It was one of those remarks that should never have been said in public and caused discomfort for many. But the unease around Ashton's remarks didn't end there. Things became much more disturbing when he met Mila Kunis. When Mila was only 14 and Ashton was 19, they collaborated on That 70s Show for the first time. On the program, they were a couple, but in real life, their relationship was far more complicated. Even though there was a noticeable age gap, Ashton didn't mince words. At one embarrassing point, he said that Mila used to look better when she was younger. In addition to being impolite, this remark was really unsettling. In a 2002 interview with The Rosie O'Donnell Show, Ashton later discussed the age difference and described it as just a little bit awkward. Even yet, the pain was not entirely conveyed by that statement. His next statement was that Mila looked hotter back then. In addition to being rude, this kind of comment demonstrates a total lack of understanding of the other person's sentiments. His remarks naturally made Mila uneasy, and people weren't afraid to call Ashton out for being one of the weirdest men in Hollywood. Not only were his comments offensive, but they also showed a concerning lack of concern for her mental well-being. However, Mila Kunis is not the end of the story. Another period characterized by dubious conduct was Ashton's connection with his ex-wife, Demi Moore. Prior to their 2013 divorce, the couple was married for a number of years. Demi has since written a book in which she discusses their turbulent marriage. The fact that Ashton made crude jokes about her infertility was one of the most upsetting disclosures. Ashton trivialized Demi's suffering at a trying and distressing period rather than providing assistance. He wrote off her reproductive difficulties as her problem, allowing her to deal with them on her own. One of the main reasons Demi was pleased to split from him was his lack of concern for her health problems. To further highlight how poisonous their relationship had become, she called Ashton one of the cuckoo males she had dated. Even while Ashton Kutcher still has a sizable fan following, it's difficult to overlook the consistent trend of careless and sometimes damaging conduct in his personal life. Even if he has some good traits, his public image has been permanently damaged by his comments regarding Demi and Mila. His disregard for the ladies in his life has caused some to wonder about his actual nature. This history of offensive remarks and behavior is a difficult look for someone who is the center of attention all the time. Additionally, it seems like more and more individuals are refusing to just forgive and go on. So, what do you think? Do you guys think Ashton Kutcher is a little off, or is he just misunderstood and people should accept him for who he is? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Mila really deserves to be with Ashton, or should she be with someone else? Drop your comments below and don't forget to check out more from Break TV every day. I'll see you in the next video.